Let's do this. Get ready for the Dirt Life Show.
All right. We should have audio now, Kyle. Thank you very much for telling me. I appreciate it. It looks like we had little technical difficulties, but we should be good to go now. Yeah, so let us know what you guys think. If you guys got a chance to go to the dunes, or if you guys just want to give us a little bit of info. Maybe you guys know the Sorensens and have hung out with them before at the races. I'd like to hear what you guys have. Supposedly Cameron has a bunch of funny stuff that he can tell us about his brother and sister. What was the last time that you guys got in like a battle? Like, was it on pit bikes or what was it? Like bicycles, skateboards?
I don't even remember.
No? Man,
was
you got to
the
be a better
last-
you got to be a better story person than that.
The last thing that we've competed in, like against
It
each
was
other.
probably at the dunes
Oh, really?
last weekend. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it was something.
Like on mini bikes?
No,
What'd you guys bring to the dunes? Tell me that.
that thing behind us.
You brought the
Mod
mod
cart.
cart?
Yep.
No way, to the dunes?
Dune paddles right there.
How sick was that?
I only drove it once because there's a race in 2 weeks, and so we
He
didn't wanna
broke
break
it. First time out.
Really?
It's typical.
Oh man.
We didn't really break it. It just the chain fell off, and we forgot to lube it.
So you
Me
want
or you? Who's mod cart?
I forgot to
There you
lube it.
go.
I forgot
That's-
to lube it.
That's hilarious, dude. Well, at least you got it back going, right? And at least you're gonna have it for the races. How about that? That's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay, so we're gonna talk about some really fun stuff. Actually, we got tons of stuff that we are gonna ask these guys about. They have a very, very good family-oriented race team here. We're gonna talk to them about traveling around the country. I want to know what it was like switching from off-road to pavement, because those are two completely different scenes. The reason that you want to go back to off-road, how you're going to switch back and forth. I think all of those things are pretty meaningful, especially in your career, because you're such a, I don't know what the right word is, versatile or agile driver. Like you can,
Diverse.
diverse. That's a good one. Yeah, it's very difficult for people to do that. Like the transitions, there's been so many people that have gone from off-road into street stuff and have done well, but backwards the other way, they fail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, or from desert to short course or whatever it is. So it's going to be really interesting to get your take on how you deal with it, and maybe even seeing some of your brother dealing with it, like how he does it too. So I think it'll be cool to see that. All right, let's get through the sponsors real quick, and then we'll start the show. So thank you very much to everybody that has been part of the show. We really appreciate Motul coming on board. Fantastic oils. So please check out the guys over at Motul USA. Follow them on social media. Hang out with them. Thank you to the guys over at Shock Therapy. We saw the guys over at Shock Therapy at Glamis this weekend. Man, they were just turning out all kinds of different suspension kits and making sure everybody had the right setup out there. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at shocktherapyusa.com. Save a whole bunch of money on whatever you want to get over there. If you couldn't get at them at the dunes to get your suspension done, or even if you broke it at the dunes, send it over there and they'll help you out. Thank you to the guys over at KMC Wheels. Really appreciate them, Ryan, and all the guys over there. If you want to go to SEMA or you're already headed over there, please say hi to the guys at KMC Wheels and EFX Tires as well. Those guys will all be out there. Thank you to Evolution Power Sports. They make some insanely high horsepower side-by-sides, man. Some of the side-by-sides that we saw at the dunes were just insane. So please go check out Evolution Power Sports. Visit them on Instagram. They got all kinds of cool stuff, and they'll post some pictures of a bunch of stuff they did over the weekend. Thank you guys over at Zollinger Racing Products. Please use the code TheDirtLife at ZollingerRacingProducts.com. If you guys need any parts, you broke all your stuff this weekend, and buy a bunch of stuff from them. Thank you to the guys over at CryoHeat. Josh and all his team over there do some fantastic work. They do a bunch of metal treatment stuff. Sell Pro Mod transmissions for Polaris Razors, Can-Ams, a bunch of different vehicles. So go check them out because they can give you guys a whole bunch more power in your side-by-side. And thank you to the guys over at Solder Weld. You can use the code DIRTLIFE over at solderweld.com and save a whole bunch of money on their off-road repair kit or their welding blankets. And finally, you can always join us anytime you want on Instagram. We get so many messages. I must have been getting 150, 200 messages a day while we're at the dunes. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I know we have a very small fan base, but you guys are loyal and we really appreciate it. So keep hanging out and talking to us. You can always check us out on Facebook and YouTube anytime as well if you want to look at the full production versions of the show. And man, if you just don't want to watch us and you just want to listen, go over to iTunes or Spotify, Amazon, all those, Google Play, and hang out with us over there. All right, let's get into it. So first thing I want to ask is how old both of you guys are, because you guys are both very young and very good drivers. So Cameron, you go first.
I'm 10 years old.
10 years old?
Yep.
And how many years have you been racing?
Probably like 6.
You started racing when you were 4? Dude, you have more off-road racing experience than I do. That's insane. I started in, well, actually, 2015, and didn't race last year. So, yeah, I'm actually probably about the same as you, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, I also stopped like racing for like 2 years.
Why? What were you into at that time?
RC cars and all that stuff.
And riding your scooter and BMX.
That too.
And he likes to do a lot of freestyle.
Oh, really?
Freestyle BMX.
Yes.
Do you? Are you good at freestyle BMX?
Not really, but I really love dirt jumps.
Are you pretty good at dirt jumping, even though you're small?
Yes.
Like, how much power do you actually give to your pedals over there? I think we're gonna have to start talking about some drift stuff because we got our buddy Justin from Status Racing that's gonna come on and hang out with us for a little bit.
Well, it's not about the pedals. It's not about pedaling. It's about like
The power that you
Yeah.
put into it.
it's just like the power that I put into my arms and stuff.
I feel you on that. So, hey, I don't know how much. I don't know if everybody can see you because we got some pretty slow internet here, Justin. But can you hear us talking over here, buddy?
Yeah,
Hey, Justin, can you copy us, dude?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, cool. Welcome, Justin Concept from Status Racing. We really appreciate you joining us tonight, man. He's one of your guys' partners, isn't he, Amanda?
Yes. We just got these 6 seats put in our car. Look at them back there. That's
Ooh.
Brandon's. He designed his.
Oh, with the white and the blue?
Yeah, and maybe if we show the other camera, you might be able to see mine. Mine are pink and blue.
Oh, you kind of can't see it. You can
kinda
just see
a
the corner of
glimpse,
it
a
right
little bit of
there.
it.
Yeah. Well, what's up, Justin? Thank you very much for joining us. Did you have a pretty eventful weekend as well?
Oh yeah, I really Halloweened it up. You know, really just went out there.
Where were you at?
I did not do a whole lot. I took my car to a classic car show on Saturday, and that was the most exciting thing I had.
Hey, have you seen his car, Amanda?
I think he showed me it when I was there.
Dude, it's insane cool. It's such a rad car. So I would definitely be hanging out in that thing too. All right, Justin. So we have Amanda over here, and she got these brand new seats in Brandon's car and her car. What was one of the things that you saw with their program that you were interested in?
So I think with their program, it worked out really well when across the block just for the drifting aspect, and then when they were we do off-road stuff too. I was like, wait a minute, why aren't you running with us actually? Like, this is almost like too perfect considering I run PRP and Status Racing. It was kind of really easy to just be like, dude, this is a automatic plug in, and there's no reason why they shouldn't be running our stuff.
Yeah, it is pretty cool to see too, and like we're gonna get into it and discuss a little bit more about like Amanda's background because she started, really grassroots, man, like doing mod kart stuff, obviously UTVs, and now she's doing the professional drifting stuff. And man, I don't know if you can see it behind us here with the shot that you have, but we have a 6100 truck behind us. Like the stuff that they're getting into and they're doing this year and then 2022 is going to be pretty awesome to follow.
I know it made total sense. I think their program makes absolute sense for Status Racing, makes absolute sense for PRP. So it was kind of really just like the match made in heaven when we really hit it off. Really no arguing to be had, because they do so much, and they hit both markets that we care about.
Yeah, I can totally see that. What was one of the reasons that you decided to go with Status and PRP, Amanda?
Well, first of all, I really like the custom seats. I'm all about color.
Yeah.
And especially being one of 2 females.
Dude, you're wearing all black today.
Okay, the way I dress is a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? I got the radium shirt on today. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
perfect.
Got that green square. Anyways, yeah, the color, like, especially being one of 2 females in the industry, like, to be as girly as possible is kind of a goal.
Yeah, so Justin, let's get on that subject a little bit. Being that you guys obviously make custom seats and things like that, what kind of I guess it's a really big positive when you see that she's diversifying because she's a female in a mostly male-dominated sport, and she's showing a whole different I don't know, audience her talents.
Yeah, I think if I just talk about, I mean, drifting and Amanda's, killer driving skills herself, I mean, there's only one of two Formula D drivers, so that's already just a huge benefit to just being a part of her program, to just kind of be like, hey, like we rock, we ride with her for sure, and everything that she's doing, and she kicks ass. So I mean, it was a no-brainer to be a part of her program, whether she was a male or female, but being a female in the sport and what we do with colors and customization was absolutely the winner.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the things that like got me going the most was like I love blue and pink. They're like my favorite colors pretty much. So like even my cars that I built, the last ones that I built have been blue, pink, and yellow with white and black. So it's very similar to the color scheme Amanda has. And when I saw the seats in her car, I was like, dude, those would look so good in a side by side.
Yeah. Do you hear that, Justin? In a side by side.
Yeah, he's got. The crazy thing is Status has about 8 or 9 colors that are not available on PRP because they're not marine grade, so they'll just take a beating if you leave them. So, Amanda, you can match the seats through a razor. I just don't advertise advising. So
You're never gonna wash those things. They're just gonna get beat.
I know.
Yeah, we had a comment come in that said Amanda is a stud drifter. Is that a good comment to come in?
Honestly, I saw it and I was like, stud, like as in, am I good or like,
Yeah.
Because I call Cameron like, oh, he's a little stud.
Yeah.
But
Is
like-
calling a girl a stud, is that like a good compliment, or is that just, I don't know what that is?
Questionable.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so their program, I've been up at I don't know if you've ever been able to check out their shop, Justin, but it's pretty rad up here. They've got a lot of stuff going on. One of the things that interested me the most was that they have a pit bike track right outside the bay doors here. So if you just get bored dropping a transmission or whatever you're doing out of one of the race cars, you can just go burn a couple laps, man. Come back and like have a good time for the rest of the day.
I have not been there, but one thing I will say about Sorensen's program, which I do appreciate the most, is the hospitality. They make you feel like a part of the family almost. It's my job to essentially make the driver or ambassador feel like they're a part of our family. And I think I echoed that kind of with Caden on your last episode was that, we want Caden, he's a part of our family, but the Sorensens do really great at making me feel like I'm almost a part of their family. Randy made sure I was fed and well fed and not thirsty at all at Formula Drift. So he came by multiple times, make sure that I was good, and that goes a long, long way because it's a good family approach to have. It's a good family to be in a relationship with.
Yeah, exactly. That actually does mean a lot. All right, so I wanted to see if Justin maybe does or doesn't know the answers to these questions, Amanda. So I was going to say,
let's hear him.
do you think that Justin can chime in if he wants to, but do you think that Justin knows one of the biggest victories that you've had in your racing career?
Well, I mean, he knows a lot about my social media stats, so maybe.
You think he does?
He knows a lot about me that I didn't know he knew about me.
So this is kind of a trick question because I guarantee you if he does say something, it's probably going to be right, but I want you to tell him if you know one that's better than this. So Justin, do you know one of Amanda's biggest victories that she's had?
I don't.
So
I don't.
I saw one, but I don't know what the race was. It looked like, and I don't even know what they're called. Like, I guess we should go back a little bit, like revert back to it, because when you're drifting, it's competition, not a race.
Yeah, it is a judge-based sport.
Okay, so
like surfing or skateboarding, but you have 3 judges.
Okay.
Line angle and style.
Got it.
And then you have your clipping points. So you have your outside clipping points, inside clipping points, and the goal is to get as close to the clipping point while maintaining angle, line, and style.
That
Style's
sounds
broken
really
down.
complicated.
I mean, it's not too hard once you get a grasp on it, but style's broken down into fluidity and commitment. So they want to make sure you're fully committed and you're very fluid, not making a lot of changes.
It makes sense. What's your favorite part about doing that?
About a
Like the
competition versus a race?
Well, no, I would say just about the competition because it's so much fluidity, right? And I'm following up with Justin after you answer this, so.
Well, one thing that I feel like that's different with drifting versus off-road is that you really only have one shot to go out there.
Right.
The way, kind of like a little background on the competition itself, you have one qualifying run.
Yep.
You have to go down and put down the highest score you can get is 100. You go put down your qualifying run. They take top 32 drivers, advance them into tandem competition, which is a lead run and a follow run. So you have a lead run, and you have to put down a good qualifying run, essentially.
Yep.
While you're in the follow position, you are supposed to be mirroring the lead driver as in if they are moving a clipping point. You want to be right up on there, maintaining proximity, transitioning with them, and being fluid and committed.
Like I said, it sounds pretty complicated, but so and I was going to follow up with Justin is when you deal with like Amanda's obviously pretty versatile because she's done off-road and she does the drifting now. You talk with both different kinds of people in your line of work, and when you deal with those different people, that's a totally different style of driving and competition. One is racing and one is the competition aspect where you're being fluid and stuff. Can you tell a difference in the personality of the people that are actually coming from those different disciplines?
Yeah, a little bit. I'd say that Formula Drift competitors, it's kind of hard because I don't consider racing in the desert a solo sport, even though it is, because you're essentially racing you and a co-driver, and you're racing against, let's just say, 30 other people. You know, with Formula Drift, you're racing against one person
Right.
at any given time. So in a way, like, I compare drifting more to like bowling. It's a mental sport. You're by yourself. You're the one person that controls this fate entirely. It's the track is the track, but like the dirt and racing in the desert, it's like if you don't pre-run, it's unpredictable. But then you've got, you know, people breaking down in front of you, crashes, accidents, things to work around. But I feel like maybe more in drifting, it's more so. And I hope this answers your question. But I feel like in drifting, it's almost like you are the sole reason. It's all mental. It's, you know, you against one other person.
Yeah, and that actually is the exact answer I was looking for because to me that's like coming from motocross and getting into off-road, that's exactly how it felt like too. It was like you and have to one single focus, and in off-road it's different, right? Because you have a bunch of different things going on.
Well, I would say one thing that a lot of people don't realize is it's 100. Like, if you don't have the right mentality going out for competition and drifting, you really only have that one shot. There's some games that the other drivers will play with you, like come talk to you before your event and say I'm going up against Cameron. Cameron be like bugging in my ear, like, oh, are you ready? This and this and that. Like,
Oh, distracting you?
they really just try to get into your head sometimes, and it's like once you learn how to block out that and you can win against your brain,
Yeah.
that's when you're going to progress.
Dude,
Whereas racing the trophy truck, I could go out there and make a mistake on a turn. I still have 2 hours sometimes to make up that mistake.
yeah, exactly.
Drifting, you straighten, you opposite drift, anything along those lines, that's your one shot. You miss a clipping point, that's 5 points down the drain. It's not going, and there's no way to make it up.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and then so the last question that I had for Justin before he has to get off the line with us was, what are some of the goals that you look for in a racing program similar to the one that Sorensen Motorsports has over here?
This is a question I have the answer to, but it's not going to be the answer I think you're looking for.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'll answer it. Status racing, for example, is a I treat it, especially, it's so much hungrier in terms of the new products it's releasing. So the seats that Braden and Amanda have are like brand new. They're only a year old. So our efforts are, let's get Formula Drift drivers. That's who we want to push our products. These seats are certified. These are the people that are going to be using the seats. So necessarily, that is the focal point. I want Formula Drift drivers to run our seats. That's what I'm looking for. And it just so happened that, you know, Amanda and Brandon do both, and that's where it's a match made in heaven. But I've got other drivers where they just drift, and it's like, that's totally fine. If you're racing Formula Drift and you want status seats, you know, I'm definitely going to try and shoot my shot, basically, because that's where our market's high. And then when it comes to PRP, it's like we're known for off-road, so the desert racing stuff is like people come to us very easily for PRP. Status is almost like I have to put myself out there as a brand and be at the shows and work with the handful of drivers to get more people to run our stuff. I have to really like be hungry for that.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's something that you
I'll
can
go-
help Justin with.
Yes. We like to promote the products 100%.
Which they do. I mean, going to Irwindale, Amanda came by the booth, Brandon came by the booth several times, posted about us while we were there. That's everything I could have hoped for, actually being at a Formula Drift event, and us being there and me hanging out with everybody at autograph signings and just interacting. I've got three other Formula Drift drivers that want to hop on board with us and see what we're about. And that all comes, it's a trickle effect. If I'm there showing my face, I'm at the show meeting them, but then they also see that Amanda's got seats, Brandon's got seats. Like, there is some reputation there, that we're working with high profile athletes and they're down with our product, so why shouldn't they?
Yeah, that's super cool.
Especially in the status racing space, nobody does what we do in terms of customization. So like in PRP side, you got 5-6 players in the UTV custom seat world, but the status world, there's nothing. So when we do our custom work and we do seats for Amanda and Brandon, and they're like that wow factor, I'm not surprised that drifters want to take hold into that, because everybody has livery designs that are out of this world and they want to match.
What's the difference in creativity, Amanda, between the off-road scene and the drifting culture?
So that's something I've actually been looking into because I do a lot. I'm a very creative person. I like to do all of the t-shirts and graphic designing for us. But I've noticed there's a lot more of an anime Japanese feel to the liveries in Formula D. Well, not even necessarily Formula D, but just drifting in general versus you go to the off-road scene and you see more of this blocky, full colors, not a lot of patterns. It's very simple and clean looking.
Yeah.
Then you go into the drift scene and you see a lot of the pro-am or grassroots drivers and even a lot of the FD drivers with more of a anime kind of lots of patterns, lots of colors, which is where status comes into play because, why would you not want to have colorful seats to match your colorful livery?
Yeah, exactly. Like Justin said, that's what they do. That's cool that you notice the difference, though. I think it's so rad because now it seems like you might be able to merge two together.
Well, that's kind of, I don't know. I feel like even for drifting for next year, I want to kind of go more of that blocky, clean look, which I'm seeing a lot of the pro drivers and a lot of other people who are getting more up-to-date liveries getting.
Yeah. What's your favorite, Cameron?
Favorite wrap on a car?
Yeah.
Do you like more of the block style, or do you like more of the crazy patterns, crazy colors?
Like a mix between the two. Like Brandon's car.
Oh, you're into that one?
Yeah, it is very kind of. It's a little blocky and it has
but
it's a little less.
Still got some crazy stripes and stuff in it. Yeah. I like that.
A mixture of both.
It's kind of cool to see that when you can know that your athletes also have that creativity lined up with them as well. And like I said, Justin, before at the beginning of the show, man, I love the pink and the blue. So that's why I was thought, oh man, this car looks so rad.
It's a fantastic car. When she said I'm doing pink, thank God.
Still waiting for the pink belts. We got to put the pink belts in there.
Pink belts.
It's like my seat now. I feel like it's more of my princess throne. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and isn't your outfit? I think we showed it in the intro too. Your outfit's all blue and pink as well, right?
Yeah, it's all blue with some pink accents.
So rad. All right, Justin. Well, thank you very much, man. Was there anything else you wanted to say before we let you hit the road?
No, just the Sorensen family kicks ass. Peace out. That's all I got.
Thanks, buddy. We really appreciate it. All right, enjoy your night, dude. It's cool to see that your sponsors are chiming in too and talking with you, and especially taking the time, with his family. He just got off work and being able to join us on the show. It means that you guys are doing a very good job when you're obviously giving the sponsors what they want.
That's the goal.
It really is the goal, right?
Got to give them a good ROI.
Yep, exactly. All right, so a lot of the people that are going to be watching or even listening on, hey, it's Justin's birthday. I don't know who Justin is. Do you? Oh.
Happy birthday. Oh, Justin?
Yeah.
Justin's birthday?
Kyle's trying to trick us right now. So Kyle and the guys at Dune and Destroy say it's Justin's birthday every single day.
Oh.
So that's their trick. Hey, he already got off the line though, Justin. So, or excuse me, Kyle. So you already go. All right, when are we gonna get some reclining chairs? I don't know, man. So some of these comments we're not gonna answer because they don't have anything to do with the show. So, all right, we're gonna go a little bit backwards here since Justin called in early to the show. I would like to get a little bit more understanding of who you guys are as people, because like I say on every Dirt Life show, it's awesome to know people from social media, and it's awesome to see you guys at the races. But do we really know who Amanda and Cameron are? So I would like to know, like, why you guys got into off-road racing in general.
So, well, that man right there, my only audience as of right now.
All right.
We got one person to join the audience.
Yep.
That's my dad. He used to race
Wave to the camera over here, Randy.
over there.
Yep.
Right over there.
You got it. That was perfect.
And you can kind of see, like, in the background of the, let's see, in the shop, there's a few pictures of his cars and trucks that he used to race. But so my other brother, Brandon, which will be joining us soon, hopefully. Okay. Him and I were very, very young when my dad put us into BMX. So, like, our first form of actual, like, competitive racing would be BMX.
Oh, really?
I don't think I was too interested in it. I know my brother was really interested in it.
BMX is fun, but yeah, I can see.
Yeah. Then after that, Brandon and I went into go-kart racing, which was our first motorsport. We were probably like 5 and 6, honestly, yeah. So I've been driving for almost like 14 years now.
Right on. But your dad wanted you, well, I don't know if he wanted you, he probably gave you the opportunity to follow in his driving footsteps, but allowed you guys to pick whatever you guys wanted to do.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like at a young age too, like, he is really like more of knowing what's best. And yeah, we just got into go-karting, and Brandon and I, honestly, I think what drove us so hard was that we had each other to compete with. There was never a dull moment.
How far are you guys apart in age?
18 months.
Oh, wow. So you guys are really close. So that's a really good competition.
So I'm 19, Brandon is 17.
Perfect.
Then we got Cameron over here that's 10.
Dude, young gun.
I know. He's even more crazy than Brandon and I.
Uh-oh. So you guys started doing go-karts and stuff, and then, so when were you, like, the age that he was coming into the picture then? Like, you were about 10 years old or so, or 9 years old?
I was 10.
And so...
I was 11.
You were 8. You were 8.
Cameron? 8? Are we smarter than the
Yes.
third grader today, or what?
So,
All I know is Brendan was 7 when I was born.
there you
Your
go.
math.
I know that
Perfect.
for a fact.
Yeah, you're good.
Actually,
What is 19 minus 10? I'm 18, but I'm almost 19.
9.
There you go.
9.
Perfect.
Okay.
It was close enough.
So
Close enough.
you guys started racing go-karts, but at that time were you like, well, maybe this is something that I like really enjoy and could be like good at?
Honestly, I don't think I can recall.
Really?
I was way too young. Like, I recall racing go-karts. I remember Brandon and I always going and racing. I also used to figure skate, so I started skating when I was like 8 or 9, around that
Really?
time too. And I would go figure skate, and then I would go to the go-kart track and go race go-karts with my brother after.
I feel like that's where a lot of the creativity probably came from then. It's like, because in figure skating, you got to have lines and like all kinds of like plans and stuff, like, because it's almost like dancing, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know that much about figure skating, but I feel like that's a lot more creative. But that's cool. And now that you're like doing the drifting stuff, I feel like that connects pretty well.
There's actually a really huge connecting factor there because they're both judge-based sports.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing that I used to run into all the time for figure skating is I could go out and land a jump and a spin 100 times, but then as soon as I went out for my actual competition, I would always mess up something.
Oh, man.
So same factor comes into play with drifting. I could go drive a practice lap a million times, nail it, but then as soon as I would go in front of the audience, in front of the judges, I would always, I don't know why, my first competition, first qualifying run, I'd always go out and I would just zero right away. Because I would always just let the pressure get to me, which is a huge factor, like, that comes into play with drifting is you have to really, like, it's a mind game.
You got to be on
have to win
point,
against
right?
your brain.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go out there and be like, oh, it's so unknown and whatever. But with drifting, and it's crazy because, like, figure skating actually had a play in this. Like, I remember I would always just go out and be so nervous before I had my competition. But then for drifting, it wasn't until literally the beginning of this year that I was able to get over the stage fright of going out in front of the judges.
Really?
Yeah, which is crazy because, like I said, it's a mind game, and you don't realize, like, it's like going to give a speech in front of everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? You could recite your speech over and over again, but then as soon as you're looking at the crowd, you're like, wow, I'm spotlight of attention.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's my time to shine.
But I feel like that's something that you can, like, just grow with, grow with and, like, expand as you go.
Exactly. And I feel like every single time every single competition is a new learning experience.
Yep.
And every single time I go out and get put on the spot, I learn more and more how to overcome that.
Yeah.
And like I said, it really wasn't until the beginning of this year that I was able to just be like, okay, this is like another practice lap.
That's still good, though. You're still really young to be able to, like, push through that. Like, so when you're, let's just say 25, it's going to be like you're a total professional, you know what I mean? Because you've already passed through all that stuff. Hey, we had a question come in from, I think it was Whitney, that said, is Amanda short or tall? So
5'5".
there you go. So, and it doesn't matter if you're short or tall. You can do whatever you want no matter what height you are.
She also looks like she's like 6 feet.
Amanda does?
I look like I'm 6 feet.
Compared to
Yes.
you, maybe. I'm 6'2".
Also compared to Brandon.
Really?
Brandon
Yeah.
is tall.
And then Landshark says, how is it being a woman in a primarily male-dominated sport?
Honestly, at the end of the day, like, we're all the same.
Yeah.
However, I do feel like there is a lot more spotlight of attention on me, whether it's negative or positive. Also, I feel like sometimes you aren't taken as seriously, but that's not too often that I run into that.
Yeah, and plus, you don't see it any different, right? Like, the way that your outlook is and the way that you view things is the way that people perceive it.
Yeah.
So you show them that there's no difference, then they perceive no difference, right? So you're doing a really good job at that. So if I don't know if that was a male or female that asked that question, but it doesn't matter, right? You can just go in there and you can come in guns a-blazing just as long as you show your prowess on the track, right?
Exactly.
So I think that's so cool, man. That actually brings up a good point that we should talk about that diversity. But I wanted to talk about it more on a driver skill level than men versus women, because you don't consider yourself any different, right? Like,
Yeah,
you consider
I
yourself. Yeah, you can compete against anybody. You don't care. So when I talk about it, I feel like it's more important to talk about your skill set behind the wheel and how good you are at driving.
Agreed.
So, okay. So I
But-
think,
Side note, I actually do feel like, and I don't think I realized this till last event, I feel like being a female, the guys are actually more intimidated.
yeah, because they don't want to get
because-
beat by a girl kind of thing.
Possibly, yeah.
I could see that. Yeah, but I mean, there's been so many girls. Do you have any girls that race in your class, Cameron?
One.
One? Do you want to get beat by a girl or do you want to beat the girl?
The only reason on my first mod kart race, the only reason I got beat is I was
He got beat by a girl.
exactly. The only reason I got beat is me and this other kid were battling, and me and him were just like tandeming through the dirt. And on the last lap, I had a very soft spot, and the back end just came out. And
Oh, it spun
I don't
around?
think you have to
Yeah.
make an excuse for getting beat by a girl. I think it was just more of like,
there was no excuse there.
Yeah. It was your mistake and she got the better of you?
would you rather be beat by a girl though, or would you rather be beating the girl?
I don't really know.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess you probably don't
What
know how
about-
to answer that question, but I'll give you the answer. You want to win every time on the track,
Yeah,
bud.
but what about getting beat by your sister or beating your sister in something?
Okay, that's a different story. I'd rather beat her in everything.
All right. So Brandon, are you feeling a little bit better, dude? All right. Let's switch out with Brandon real quick, all right? Thank you very much, Cameron. We really appreciate you coming on the show, dude. You're doing an awesome job, so keep kicking butt. Make sure you go out there and win all those races, dude. So we'll get Brandon in here a little bit because I would like to start out and see, how he compares his upbringing to yours as well and battling with you. I think that's pretty cool. So welcome Brandon Sorensen to the show. What's up, dude? How are you?
He's alive.
Here, put this bad boy on here. So Brandon wasn't feeling very good. He had some pretty bad allergies and stuff after going to Dumont. But, man, I haven't seen you in a while, dude. Last time I probably saw you was at a Lucas race a long time ago.
Yeah, when we were in like trophy carts and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
exactly. And you guys were just moving into UTV, so it's really cool to see your guys' progress. Well, we had just asked Amanda how it was like kind of getting into your backstories, like how you guys came up through the ranks, and she was already giving us a little bit of the understanding. You know, your dad raced before, and you guys kind of followed in his footsteps, but you guys both had the opportunity to choose your own paths. And she said that her path, like she wanted to choose, was to go more into off-road than in figure skating. But she developed a lot of her skills from figure skating to like connecting the dots, so to speak, like when drifting and stuff nowadays. So you did dirt bikes and stuff as growing up, right? And off-road racing or short course racing?
Yeah, started like BMX, trophy carts,
Yep.
UTV racing, and then I've always wanted to get into. I always liked super technical driving, where to me in off-road racing, it's just like get there as fast as you can.
Yep.
Mistakes, you can make mistakes, but
Less on the
obviously,
spot.
like with drifting, if you look at what we're doing, it's like you make one tiny little mistake and you're going home. It's straight up like precision driving.
Yeah.
And that's more what I like to do versus Amanda.
Oh, I see. I
Well,
thought you
mean,
liked
it's
precision
changed-
driving
it's
too.
changed a little bit. Like, I definitely, as of like a year ago, I was like, I want a trophy truck. I'm over drifting. Let's go race for 4 hours instead of 30 seconds. But now I'm like, Now that I've gotten more power, we just put a Magnuson supercharger on my car this year, so
Oh.
I'm at higher horsepower, and now I'm like, all right, I like to go fast.
Caden Max says, "Where's the skate park?" It's right over there, buddy. It's right behind us in the other building that's over there across the way. All right, make sure you keep the microphone as close to your mouth as possible. I'll clean them later, so don't worry about it. But yeah, so is there a big difference in both of your guys' styles then? Because you guys have a different mindset when you get out there?
I
And
would say
let's just talk about just drifting for now.
we actually just compared in-car footage because at the last round, Brandon's car, we had some technical difficulties.
You broke it.
Yeah.
Blows motor. But we put it back together, but we weren't really trusting it. So Brandon drove my car for the event, and we were comparing our in-car footage, and it's literally like spot on, like first gear, second, third. I just posted on my Instagram today, actually.
Oh, really? Like a
And,
side by
like,
side where you guys are
Yes,
shift
like
points
top
and
and
everything?
bottom, and it's like first, second, third, fourth, and then like we initiate at the same time. We have some same e-brake pulls. It's kind of crazy.
Is it almost like the muscle memory thing? Like you guys don't even realize you're doing it?
Well, I mean, so like I jumped in her car, tried not to change it too much, and so I left it set up for her. Like didn't change the alignment or any of that. It's just in my class we run like a huge 315/40 tire.
Yep.
Where Amanda it's like a 255. So there's like those two little differences right there. But other than that, we were in the same exact car, and the driving style was pretty similar. I think the video that she posted was like her during a practice, where mine was like qualifying, so it was a little bit more comfortable. But it's
Yeah,
definitely
She said she's learning how to be like spot on during qualifying and all the time. Just she needs to get out there too.
Mind games. Like
Mind games.
yourself.
Those are so tricky though. Like no matter what, like the mind stuff, you always have to be so on point with everything that you do, right? Like, isn't it crazy that? Well, actually, maybe you could give me the understanding of this. So, what's the difference in mindset that you have to have for going on a Lucas Oil short course race or going into a drift competition?
personally, I think it's pretty similar. Like you have to be 100%
It
focused.
doesn't sound like Amanda's
tuned
going
in
to give
on
us
what
the
you're
same answer.
doing, and I'd
I would have
before
to
like
say
any race, I like take a few minutes, like close my eyes, like get into like 100% focus,
Yep.
and
Get
I did
yourself
that
in the
same
zone.
exact thing with Lucas Oil versus when I'm about to go out for a drift battle. But I think Amanda has a different.
for Lucas Oil, I think I was just always like so hyped, so ready to go. Like
Yeah.
I think I needed more of like that adrenaline to go out there and do it versus if my adrenaline is high and I go out for qualifying, I run into a wall. So I had to really learn how to tame myself down and just kind of like visualize a plan, go out there, make sure there's no unknowns, and kind of just go out there instead of like going out there and really not knowing. Because when you're racing the short course race, there's a lot of unknowns.
Yep.
You don't know who's going to be next to you. You know, there's crashes in front of you. There's a lot of that fast reaction time to whereas when you're drifting, you kind of go out there and you know exactly where you're going to put your car, inside zones, outside zones, how you're going to do it. You create that muscle memory, and it's more of a repetitive style of driving.
Right. It's a planned effort instead of a reacted effort in short
Yeah.
course. Yeah. So I don't know if you ever be proactive instead of reactive. Well, you always try to be as proactive as possible in any type of racing that you do, right? Like you want to be proactive to set up a car in a drift, or you want to be proactive to see where another driver's going in a short course race. But in my opinion, just from hearing you guys, in drifting, you can be way more proactive the whole time. You don't have to be so reactive, except for when you're battling with the other driver behind following, right?
Yeah.
But it's not as reactive as a short course race?
Well, so
Well-
in drifting, there's so many conditions that like stay the same, where it's not like they're watering the track before it, and the
Right.
track is going to be changing. You're not going to have ruts forming in the track. Like, it's pretty consistent with every single time you go, unless you're following someone.
Got it. And do you feel the same way? Because, like, every time I got on the short course track, I felt like it was knockdown, drag-out MMA shit. Like, I was like, dude, these guys are just coming for you. Like that. So I can kind of feel what Amanda's saying, like that whole adrenaline thing. Like, you got to be spot on from the drop of the green flag, like, ready to go. And I always had a problem, like what Amanda was saying. Like, I would always take me, like, from coming from motocross, it would take me, like, I don't know, at least 5 minutes to get warmed up. And shit, in a short course race, you barely have that much time, right? Like, so you're already, like, gone. So qualifying, I was terrible at always because I was always too slow to get going. And then so like finally towards the end of the race, I could move up into the top positions, but it takes you way too long to get going. So I don't know how that personality would work in drifting. I feel like that would be horrible for a drifter.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, like
you're really on the spot. Like,
Yeah.
you literally have one shot. And not only do you have just one shot, but everyone's watching you in the stands, on the live stream,
Yep.
and the judges.
Is there a lot more? Is drifting a lot more popular than the off-road stuff? Like as far as viewership goes?
100%. Formula D is actually the second ranked social media following. NASCAR's first for social media, and then Formula Drift's next.
That's pretty cool. And to see that you guys came from off-road and are doing that now, that makes me feel happy because that puts, a little bit more eyes on off-road too, because you guys are kind of bridging the gap, you know what I mean? That's awesome that you guys are doing that. Just kind of like Justin was saying, you guys do both.
Yeah.
That's pretty rad. All right, so give me a little bit more of the backstory then. So kind of just give me the Cliff's notes of you coming up through mod carts and getting into other types of off-road racing.
Well, I mean, like we started with the go-karting on the pavement, and then we went into modified carts.
Yep.
That's what really teaches car control, how to react to
The
a
ruts,
lot
all the
of different things,
changing
how to try and
conditions.
predict what other people are going to do. And
Well, and a lot of people that are listening might not know that, like, a mod car is about as close as you can get to a Pro 2, which is the top level of off-road racing short course, as the ratio goes with power to weight, right? Like, for a little kid to be able to control a vehicle that's got so much power in just the rear wheels is pretty phenomenal. To this day, it still blows my mind.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely something else. And personally, I think it might even be a little bit more gnarly than a Pro 2, because if you're starting in the back of the field, you got 35 people in front of you.
Yeah, not
Where-
just 10.
Pro 2, yeah, you probably got, 10 people in front of you, and it's like, well, if they start stacking up in the front, you're going to have, 20 cars, just spread across the entire track that
That's
you
a
have
really
no clue what's going to be happening.
That's a really good point. Did you ever feel like that, Amanda, when you were racing?
Honestly, I was horrible at mod carts. I
Really?
was always last.
So did you
I was
not?
always trying to keep up with Brandon, and I just don't think I really understood the whole clutch thing, because Brandon had more of a dirt bike background,
Yeah.
which the mod carts literally have a clutch exactly
Yep.
like the dirt bikes.
Yep.
And the whole shifting thing, yeah,
It just
I was
wasn't
a little
your-
slow. I was
it
a little
wasn't your
slow in
vibe?
picking it up.
But then when you guys got into UTVs, it was easier for you. You started actually doing pretty good, right?
Yes, I my rookie year I won the Lucas Oil Championship in
Nice.
the Razor class.
Dude, that's super cool. And was some of that like Brandon's tutelage to you, or were you just good at it right off the bat?
I'd have to say it was pretty good, yeah.
She started racing razors a lot farther, like.
Ahead of you?
Funny
Yeah,
story. I feel like
exactly.
Brandon was always just so bored driving the Razor because, like,
You're not as busy in the cockpit at
yeah,
all.
I think that was kind of what it was. But I do remember one time Brandon broke his arm, and we were racing a works race, and I had to drive his car.
Hey, look, before she logs off, Kristen Matlock, she's also a women pursuing.
Oh, yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Kristen, people are already commenting in saying, how is it being a woman driver in a different type of sport? So we were already asking Amanda about that. And she said very similar to things that the way you deal with your racing program. She just sees her as a really fierce competitor against all the people that are out there, too. How do you feel about that? Like when you've seen your sister drive, you just get super proud?
I mean, like, she's just another competitor when we're on the track.
Yeah,
So-
but I mean, you got to give her some respect too, because I know that she respects you when you drive.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like when she does good, I don't know. It's
You get
Brandon
pissed
doesn't-
because you want to be better.
He doesn't like to show a soft side, but I promise you he's nice.
Yeah, but you definitely want to be the winner, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
always.
Of course. Uh, so going into the UTVs, like a lot of our audience loves UTVs, right? And you were saying that you were kind of bored in the cockpit. Did you ever get to drive a YXZ?
I love YXZs. They're so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we started. Well, I started out in like a Arctic Cat 700,
Yep.
and because I wasn't old enough to be racing the 1000s, but
I remember those days, dude.
yeah, as soon as I was able to step into a YXZ 1000, like we went into works and pretty much overhauled like almost every single race.
You like driving that car, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you like driving those cars too, but does that give you guys, because every time I talk to people, they're like, oh, the cost of entry into off-road is so expensive, but not if you get a side-by-side. If you get a trophy truck or something, it's a little bit different. But a lot of our audience can go in and buy a YXZ and go do these things and then move into different things, because that car, whether it's good, bad, indifferent, whatever, it teaches you a lot. And you guys learned a lot about how to drive from vehicles like that and the mod carts, which are shifting vehicles.
Yeah.
That I honestly think that's pretty cool. That could be that it was a platform for your guys' growth in racing.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think it's a great starting point. It pretty much anyone can like go hop in a UTV and drive it, right? And there's a lot of things like, oh, you could go roll it, break it, whatever, and they're pretty easy to fix, work on, maintain. It's like kind of toss a new belt at it here and there, whatever happens. Like with a YXZ, I think we had ours for like 3 years and
Just keep running
pretty
it.
much didn't even do anything to it.
Hose
But
it off.
Brandon and I, the weird part is that, so he started in the 700, and I was actually racing a Polaris.
Oh, okay.
And then after I won the championship in 2016, I got into the YXZ, and he got into the Polaris. So he was racing the Polaris 1000, and I was racing the YXZ, which I liked it because it was the paddle shifter one.
Oh, cool.
And so that was really fun because it was more like driver interactive.
Yeah,
cab.
and it teaches you shift points and obviously to manage the motor and all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty rad. Did you guys ever get to adjust any of the ECUs on the transmission or anything like that? We did. It was awesome. It made those cars so much better, man. Kristen Matlock says absolutely. She loves seeing other female competitors doing well in the sport. Yeah, and you're not just doing well in one sport. Both of you guys are doing pretty well in drifting and in off-road. So let's kind of fast forward a little bit because did you guys have any plans to become like Pro 2 or Pro 4 drivers or anything like that? Or you guys wanted to transition off into something else?
No, I definitely think I saw him, and I was like, that's pretty sick. I was just saying, since Cameron got back into the mod carts, that might be an option for driving, just like hop in the seat, test it out, see how it is.
Yeah, that's cool. What about you, Brandon?
Personally, I knew it was short course wasn't really for me.
Yeah.
I've always dreamed of racing WRC down
Ooh,
in like
that's cool.
Europe and stuff like that. World
That's one of the
Rallycross.
questions that we got on the list here is what your guys like end goal is. So
Yeah, I definitely want to be able to make it there one day.
that would be super cool. WRC is so crazy, man. Have you seen some of the Nitro Rallycross stuff that Travis Pastrana is doing?
Yeah,
I just went to
that
one.
is.
Oh, you
First
guys
one.
both did?
I did.
She did.
Salt Lake.
How was that?
It was super sick.
Was it?
I was like, oh my gosh, they're throwing backies into that dirt turn over there. It's like drifting and off-roading.
Yeah, like full tilt, right? I feel like that would be something that could be like totally up your guys' alley too, with the driving finesse that you guys have, with also the aggression. Like that'd be so sweet.
So sick. They're so awesome.
Is that a pretty high dollar sport to get into, or high dollar car to get into?
In rallycross?
Yeah,
Yeah.
is it?
It's probably about the same as like a trophy truck.
Man, that's so crazy. Those cars do look super cool. So, it is cool to see that you guys came from, off-road racing and Lucas and stuff, though. I really think I commend a lot of the drivers that come from that series, no matter where they go. If they go like Travis Pastrana, he's doing obviously rallycross stuff, and there's a lot of guys that came from motocross and are doing it. So it's really cool to see, man. One of the other things that I wanted to ask about was, you already took racing pretty serious from a young age, but a lot of kids and a lot of families, they get burnt out on it, right? But you guys have been doing it for a long time, and you guys love it. So what are some of the highlights that you guys have experienced so far in your guys' young careers, like maybe traveling the country together, or some type of not just racing stuff?
Well, I mean, I think you just have to take advantage of the situation that you're in. So, like, we were down in New York, and we were doing a drifting thing. Well, take one day, go out, have fun. Like, you're there to have fun, and
That's cool.
just think about it like that. It shouldn't be a job. You're there to have fun.
Yeah, and most people don't get those opportunities, right? Like I remember when we were racing motocross and traveling all over the country, we'd have to like go as fast as we could because my dad had to get back to work. But man, there was so many times I would look out the window and be like, no other kid is seeing this. Like I'm one of the only kids that's coming from a small town in Arizona, and you guys live in Vegas. Like hardly anybody else gets to experience this, so you guys must be super appreciative of it.
I think another cool thing about just racing in general is you don't only learn about how to drive. There's a lot of behind the scene functioning factors that you learn. And for me, like, that's very intriguing. It's like, it's almost like a business.
Yeah.
Kind of like you learn how to market yourself. You learn how to manage your sponsors. And so all of those new connections and new experiences and lessons, I think, are just really intriguing.
Yeah, and you learn all those through everything that you're doing, right? Because you're talking with your family for hours on end, driving across the country, whatever it is, man.
We just had a whole family meeting for like 2 hours last night, just talking about like driving and goals and anything beyond that.
Honestly, I'm so into that. Like, I love that you guys can do that. That's so cool. There's so many families out there that unfortunately they don't get the I call it the racing bond, right? They don't get that same feeling because they don't have that same interaction. Like, who knows what the kids are doing while the family's doing something else. Dad's at work and kids playing video games or whatever. There's so many families that get closer bonds because of racing, and you guys are doing that same thing.
Might be a little too close sometimes. Sometimes you just want to kill each other,
Yeah.
Especially when my brother is the other driver.
Or the catalyst to your anger.
We're very competitive. And then we have Cameron over there who just likes to compete with all of us.
Let's see here. We'll put the camera on him over there. He was just fixing his hair. But I genuinely think that's super cool that you guys get to spend those times. Do you guys have a favorite spot that you visited across the country then? I mean, you said that you kind of dug New York, but what was yours?
As far as like favorite like actual state that we went to?
Yeah, maybe even like I don't know. Let's do two things. Let's do what your favorite event that was that you've been to before. Like I don't know if you've been to Crandon or something, or like a favorite drift event, big drift event, and then your favorite city that you've been to outside of the racing stuff.
That's a hard question.
What was like? Did you have like an event that you were just like, holy cow, this is like the holy grail of racing right here. I always want to come back to this one.
I would have to say Irwindale, honestly, just because. Well, I mean, you could always have a good track, but if you don't have a good weekend, then it's just like.
Yeah, I agree with that. But still, I mean, like, it's still an awesome place, though, right?
Yes, for
sure. So
sure.
you want to go back.
I would definitely say I liked going to Texas, which was in 2019, because they had the world's largest TV.
Whoa!
I'd see my face up there, and I was like, wow, look at me go.
That's pretty cool. And what about, like, just a place that you hadn't been to for racing, that you just, like, maybe it was a city that you passed by, and you're just like, dude, this is so rad?
I would have to say my favorite adventure of my whole entire racing career so far was me and Brandon driving through New York to get to New Jersey, and we ran the semi-truck into two bridges, folded the AC unit, and changed a hub. Was it a hub?
Whoa.
Yeah, changed a hub on the side of the freeway.
That sounds intense.
We got to
She
the
says
track at
we,
7.
but it was like more of like a me thing.
I was
She was
holding
just
the
like standing there, like
flashlight, you
making
know,
fun of me, like
making
recording
videos.
videos, like.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so brutal though.
But it's fun though, cause like we flew into Michigan, and was it Michigan? No,
Definitely not Michigan.
New Hampshire is where it was. We flew
Whoa.
to New Hampshire, and we drove.
From New Hampshire to New Jersey.
Yes, in the semi truck, pulling our cars because we were gonna go do a test day in New Jersey. But one thing I didn't know, and neither did Brandon, because we live on the West Coast, they don't have bridges here. Like, they have bridges in New York and New Jersey.
They're sketchy.
And so we're driving on the freeway, and it says, no trucks on freeway, all trucks exit. And we're following this semi-truck. And so we're like, all right, like, we're good. We're following this other guy. And then finally, we're like, okay, maybe we should get off. So we get off. And we're, like, in these back streets, like, the power line poles were the height of the RV. And we were just like, okay, it's fine. We're going to figure it out. And we were trying to get to this other freeway. And we're in this neighborhood. And we're like, okay, we need to go across this bridge. But Brandon and I are looking at each other like, are we going to fit? And I was like, all right, just go slow.
Didn't work?
We start driving, and then the smoke detector falls off the roof. And I was like, all right, Brandon, that we're not making it back up.
Oh, dude.
So we back up, and it's like in these roundabouts. But there's a lot of like cool experiences that we've had, even just not too long ago going to Irwindale. Our toter home broke down. So I towed Brandon with the big RV. We towed the semi-truck into the track, and like they're just me and Brandon, we're just kids, and like all the other drivers are like looking at us like, wow, these kids are insane.
That's cool though
I
that
was
you guys
just
are doing it.
Towing him in because the semi-truck broke.
That is so cool. Like I clearly know nobody wants to wreck their motorhome, but like it's so cool that you guys were doing that together. Like that's like an experience that will never die.
I think our teamwork definitely
Made the dream
will
work.
be there when it needs to be, but then sometimes I think we just...
What did you
it's
guys
just
do
like
when you
that
got to the
sibling
track?
level.
Were you just like, oh crap?
Well, I think we showed up to the track at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it was
because we were
5 a.m.
trying
once
to
we get
figure
there.
out like what happened to the semi. and
Yeah.
But because it has air
Figure out
brakes
how
on
to
it,
move it.
Oh.
Just because it had no air in it. Like, the motor runs, puts
Yeah.
air through the brakes, unlocks them. We had
Yeah.
to like wire in our air compressor to like air up our tires, and so it'll unlock all of the brakes,
Yeah.
and then hook tow strap to the motorhome.
we went
towed
through
it
3
from
tow
the freeway.
straps.
We're just gonna call Brandon MacGyver from now on. Just fix some crap. That's so crazy. How like? I guess that's another thing, right? Like you have to really put yourself in positions that like you can. Well, some positions you can't get out of, but you've learned so much, both of you guys, throughout like your young age, to be able to get yourself out of a position like that because you know how things work. Like there's a good amount of adult males that would have no idea how to fix that same situation.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely been through a lot, and with everything you go through, you just,
Do you ever talk to your friends and they're just like, "What are you talking about, bro? I don't even know what. Like, you're way ahead of me."
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, literally just at the sand dunes, this kid's bike broke down. I was like, oh, I think we can fix it. Like, it can't be that hard.
yeah.
So we spent like 2 hours working on his bike.
Got it going again.
Yep.
And he would have not known if you weren't there.
Oh, he had like no clue. I was like sitting here like explaining to him how the dirt bike worked and all this other stuff.
Nice. That's so cool. You got to be like pretty proud of like yourself and your brother for doing all that, man.
I'd
That's-
have to say it's definitely... I'm more like the outgoing, like fun type of person, and Brandon's just like serious, and like when we're sitting there broken down on the side of the freeway, I'm just cracking jokes, and he's like, dude, like...
We
just
gotta get
hold the
this fixed.
flashlight, shut up.
That's hilarious, man. But those experiences, like you guys are so young, it might not hit right now, but like those experiences are so meaningful down the road. You guys are gonna be so proud of yourselves when you guys look back on all that stuff. So racing off-road. First of all of our audience thinks that off-road is the best thing ever, right? But going from off-road and transitioning into pavement or drift has to be a pretty difficult move, right? Like, because it's way different form of driving. Like,
Kind of.
Car-
I mean,
It's a pretty short gap to jump, honestly.
yeah.
well, when you have good car control. So, like, car control is the main thing that you're focused on, right? But it's a totally different atmosphere. It's different fans, like you guys were saying. It's different vehicles. So there's a whole bunch of different stuff. Like you can't just take the same car that you went in your off-road car and go and drift, right? Like
From a driver's perspective, it's a short gap, but
Okay.
everything else,
Right.
100% it's different. Like learning how to add grip into a drift car to make you go faster sideways.
Got it.
And like how do we make the car transition faster, and just like learning the car is definitely one of the biggest things. But if you do have like car control coming from off-road, it's a fairly simple gap.
That's a perfect way to put it. Was it difficult for either of you?
Yeah.
Both of you?
100%.
Yeah, and because of that learning curve on the vehicle, and like once you got the vehicles figured out, you were like, oh, now we're back to like car control.
Well, even now, for my, like, I feel like Brandon's more of an advanced driver than I am. So, like, maybe for him, he can't relate. But I got in and I'm like, oh, what's this third pedal? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because in the Razors, you have gas and you have brake.
Right.
You get in the drift car and it's like you got the gas, you got the brake, you got the clutch, and you got the e-brake, and you're shifting. So there's a lot of components there.
Yeah.
You mix them all together and you're just like, well, what happens when I hit the gas and hit the brake, or I'm on the gas and I clutch kick, or there's a lot of these minor skills that Brandon picked up driving on the simulator, like just putting in the time that I really didn't get a grasp on. That I was like, okay, well, how does this work?
Yeah, makes sense. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back. So all you guys on Instagram, just hang tight, or you can go to Facebook and check out the commercials. We'll be back in about 7 minutes.
We're here at the Mint 400. My name is Kerry King. I'm with the OTSFF Motul Vision truck. Motul oil is a big part of our race program. I mean, the consistency, the temperature that it holds, and you know the issues that we don't have while we're using that oil is self-explanatory.
Motul Oil, they've been with us for over 12 years. They jumped on board with us with the 6100 race truck here, and Mint 400, and they've been an amazing partner with our lubricants. And really, it's allowed us to finish every race in 2019, and we're jet setting really well here for 2020.
You ready to test these tires out? I was born ready. Let it rip.
Shock Therapy, the premier UTV suspension tuning company. We test daily with the leading manufacturers in the industry to perfect our shock tunes and race-proven components for all UTVs. Whether it's high-speed racing or slower trails, we have a suspension tune that is perfect for your driving style. Visit shocktherapist.com to improve your ride today.
Zollinger Racing builds the best aftermarket products available. Products for your UTV or snowmobile, including billet radius rods, billet tie rods, billet steering knuckles, billet steering racks, alternator kits, and much more. All manufactured in the United States in-house at their headquarters in Nibley, Utah. Travis Zollinger and his team test in some of the most brutal conditions, racing in places like the Best in the Desert Mint 400, Ultra 4 King of the Hammers, UTV World Championships, and many more. Visit ZollingerRacingProducts.com and use the code DIRTLIFE to get 10% off your next purchase, and join us on social media at Zollinger Racing Products to see our products in action. Zollinger Racing, the best products, period. Yeah, finally, we got Lance from Solderweld in the studio. Thanks for coming down, bud. Hey, why don't we just record a commercial now?
Yeah, why not? So good to be here, man. It's been a lot. I've been trying to get down here forever, and I wanted to talk about the off-road kit.
Dude, I love those things. I got it in my pack.
Yeah, we're running hundreds of vehicles now running them, whether it's a UTV or some guy's got it in a backpack on his motocross. He's got everything he needs to make a fix right there on the fly, out on the trail, or in the desert, whatever it is.
Well, since I've already used one, I kind of know what to use it for, but explain what it does.
All right, so let's pull one out real quick. You've got your aluminum rods. Remember, they're rods, right? So, light torch, small torch. You can throw it in there or throw it on the rig with your flux. It decontaminates and cleans like, let's say, a radiator. You get a random rock chip runs through as you're racing. You get a rock chip in a radiator. You got to fix it right there or you're out of the race.
You can patch it up.
You can patch it up. It's all good to go.
Yep, just like welding.
Yeah, also as well with that, you've got a brake line fix. So with your flux, you can fix a brake line, stainless steel, and then your hot block, heat absorption putty. So it keeps you from getting burned, number one, as well as keeps the heat from traveling. So it's really nice.
I've used this not even to fix anything, so that stuff works so good, man.
Listen, it's easy. It straps in nicely so that you have everything you need in one little place, and you don't have to carry a big bag in
It's
the
like a first
truck.
aid kit for your vehicle.
Yeah, chase trucks have it as well, so that if they need to make a fix on the fly, they can get it done and get it done quick and get you back in the race.
Dude, those things are so cool. All right, so it's at Solderweld on Instagram, Facebook, and solderweld.com.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Welcome back to episode 107 of the Dirt Life Show. Thank you guys very much for joining us on Monday night. Really appreciate you guys hanging out. Man, we have had such a good show so far. It's really cool to see the Sorensen family and Sorensen Motorsports having such a good vibe in their off-road racing tenure, and now going into their drift racing tenure here. So let's see if we can get Dodge Pullman on the line here. I don't ever know if I've ever talked to Dodge more than 5 words, man. So it'll be cool to talk with him too. Dodge Pullman, what's up, dude? How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing pretty awesome, man. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time.
I know, man. I'm just waiting for my invite on the show.
Yeah, dude, we got to get you over here and talk a little bit about your off-road racing tenure too. But hey, let's get you on one of these days. But for now, let's talk about the Sorensens over here. So, how do you know both of these bad boys and girl?
We're cool.
Well, I mainly know Amanda, and I just know her from. I mean, I would say mutual friends, but we just kind of had, obviously similar interests in the off-road industry. And we just started talking on social media one day. We've hung out a few times, and over the course of maybe a few years, developed a pretty good friendship, and gone and done some fun stuff with them. And Amanda started going to school here in my hometown, and so through that we were able to start hanging out and just have some fun. And it's cool to hang out with people in the off-road, or really just the power sports industry. Just casually, because really I only see people at events, because here in Utah there's not a large group of us.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of what the Dirt Life show is all about. Like, is basically trying to get behind the scenes and understand those people. Just like Amanda, we would like to get at least our audience and her audience a good understanding of who she is, as well as Brandon. Brandon's feeling a little bit under the weather today, so we're going to try to divert most of the questions to you. We'll ask him the really specific mechanical questions. How about that?
Sounds good.
But it is cool that you got to see a lot of Amanda in Utah when you were up there. What is one thing that you can tell everybody about Amanda's personality that most people wouldn't know? Maybe a fun fact.
Oh, man. Amanda likes to do things herself and likes to do things her way.
That's cool.
Which is always fun to be with, especially with a girl, right? A girl who can make up her mind of what she wants to do and, where she wants to go and whether she wants to be somewhere or not. So it makes, being around her and hanging out with her super easy and super fun.
That's cool. Can you agree with that? You can just give us a yes or no.
Amanda is very hard-headed.
Oh,
and if she has
look at the
set
difference
on her mind, then
Dodge saying it the nice
probably
way.
Gonna happen.
Dodge coming out with the nice comment, brother coming out with the harsh ones. That's awesome, though. But both of those are basically the same thing. Like, you know what you want, obviously, and you go for it and you get it. And that's a personality trait that I think pretty much Dodge, you'll probably agree with me, every racer has to have that personality, because otherwise you wouldn't win races. You wouldn't win competitions if you didn't.
Yeah, definitely.
So, so when was the first time that you knew that she was a racer?
I mean, honestly, right off the bat, I think our relationship initially started just through social media. And so right off the bat, I just saw she was a racer. She had a little bit of, from my point of view on her social media, she had a little bit of off-road, which is what I obviously am into, but mostly the street and the drift, which right off the bat caught my eye because I think that stuff is so cool.
Yeah, dude. I could agree 100%. Yeah, when I started seeing these guys doing that stuff, I was like, oh, I'm going to follow them and see like how this stuff goes, because I really like seeing that off-road transition into some other genre of racing, whether it's, two wheels, four, whatever it is. Like, it's really cool to see those skill sets like go into a different discipline. So do you remember what car Dodge was racing when you first met him? Because I think the first car... Yeah, I think the first car I ever saw him was in a 4-seat Supercross.com Razor.
I think so, yeah.
That's the same one you saw him in, too?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, because when did you start actually racing UTVs, Dodge?
I started driving when I was 15.
Oh, okay.
6 years ago.
Perfect. All right. So,
that was my first car.
Say that again?
And that car that you're talking about, that Supercross car, was like brand new. That was my very first car. My dad bought it, raced it 2 or 3 times, and then handed it over to me.
Nice, dude. That's perfect. That car looked like it was pretty dialed. Did you guys get to check it out or anything? It looked pretty good. All right, so one of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight was racing programs altogether. You guys have all had the opportunity at a young age to, I guess, with help from other people, manage your own programs. And that's a very difficult task. We were talking about it with Caden Danbury at Four Wheel Parts last week. I want to get Amanda and Brandon. I don't want to go too far into it with Brandon because his tonsils hurt, but like, I want to get their opinion, Dodge. But you know how difficult it is to run a UTV program. Maybe give us a little bit of a background or an insight into understanding like how much work they put into their program with off-road and drift. Like compare the two, maybe.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, like, they're Sorensen Motorsports, and so that's a large family deal, and that's very similar to my style of racing because, my racing is all family, right? So whether you put Supercross or Ready Gunner or whatever on my car, I mean, it really is just, different things that my family's involved in. And so I know what it takes to run your program, run your social media, get everything ready for every race and every event. And I look at my stuff and I think, oh, this is like super difficult and there's a lot to manage. And then I watch the Sorensens Instagram and I see that they're towing around semi trucks and their trailers are off the charts. They have 1 million tires and they have, all this stuff to manage. And it makes my task look small.
Yeah.
Right. Looking at what they have to do to get prepared, especially once again, as a family deal, is incredible. And you can tell they put in the work because, their stuff always looks good. They always perform well and it looks badass.
So I couldn't agree more. And that's pretty much exactly the answer that I wanted to get because I did the same thing too. Like we operated a professional racing program and it was very difficult, like there was many hours. And one of the analogies that I always like to give is for about it depends on your weekend, but 40 to 80 hours worth of work, you get about 15 minutes of driving time in a short course race. And for you guys to put that level of effort into 2 cars and more importantly, different disciplines as well is phenomenal to me. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, definitely it's a lot. And I feel like over the years we've learned how to be more organized and every single time something does go wrong, we learn from our lessons and we're like, oh, we forgot to do this. Well, let's make sure next time, make a list or like there's a lot of organizational things that are coming into play in our program that a lot of people, I feel like sometimes it's just done by like very randomness.
Yeah.
But then when it's very random and not planned and not organized, that's where it starts to become an issue.
Yeah, makes sense.
So there's a lot of planning and organizing going on.
So, Brandon, do you think it's too much work or do you think it's like you don't mind putting in all that work?
Right now we're very fortunate to have people on our side that help us out. So like my mom, my dad, they help out a bunch. We have Rick from RTS. He tries to help out as much as he can. He's I think he's in North Carolina, and then our other like main guy Brian, he's in Massachusetts. But like between all of these people, it is a lot of work, but it all is worth it in the end. And without all of them helping us out, it definitely would not go as well as it did.
Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work, right? Like Dodge has done some desert racing. You guys have done some short course and desert racing. How much actual time do you get to put in on course in the drift competitions?
Well, I'll put it this way. We are limited to 12 laps of practice, and we have 1 qualifying run, and it's up to you to make it up to the top, but you go top 32, top 16, top 8, top 4.
And if you don't make it, you're out?
Yeah.
So you just get clipped.
Weekend,
if you fuck up in the first one, you just get clipped?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. That's why, like, the mind game is so important.
Dude,
You don't want to be driving all the way to Orlando, putting in all this work to have one small thing break on your car. You make that one mistake. Like, you go home if you don't qualify.
And you got 12 laps of practice and you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, that's terrible.
Also, another big thing that people don't realize is we actually go through a set of tires every 2 laps.
Every 2 laps?
Yes.
No way. Holy crap.
On average, we've been going through 26 to 28 tires.
Could you imagine that, Dodge? Holy smoke.
Per person.
That's like a year's worth of...
Dude, in one race, pretty much, right?
But I think it's a lot of people don't realize that, like, we have to get those tires in order to practice.
Yeah.
We have to go rent those tracks and set them up in order to practice. So we don't get a lot of practice time.
So you pretty much, like you said, you just got to be ready to go out the gate.
Exactly.
Dude, that's nuts. That's
And
such
so,
a different
like,
discipline.
One run for Formula Drift is 20 seconds. We're limited to 12 practice laps, so that's 4 minutes of actual driving
To go put on your
until
best
we
run.
go into competition.
That's insane, dude. That's so insane. Like that changes, like it makes what you said about mindset and like coming out the gate firing like that much more intense. Like I didn't realize it was that crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's
Do you?
why I feel like it takes a lot. Most of these guys that we're driving with, like, Brandon and I are young, but I have 14 years behind the wheel. Same with Brandon.
That's way more than me.
And taking that into play, and then also looking at these other guys that we're driving against, they all have put in their time and their work because it didn't just happen for anyone overnight.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true. That's a good
So,
point.
Just because we are so young, we have also put in that time behind the wheel. And the other guys, the same with them. They've put in the time behind the wheel. They've learned all the lessons. They're going through all the experiences, so we can build that muscle memory to go out and get 4 minutes
Yeah,
practice
so
and go drive.
your actual driving maturity is way more than your age shows, kind of thing. Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. If there's like,
And you don't mind me saying, you have these guys who start driving when they're older, and you think about how much easier it is to learn something when you're young,
right?
Like you wheel when you're like 10, 11, 12 years old. What you can do in a year at that age, you could do in 5 years at 20.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point.
Like you start when you're really young. Like Amanda's like what, 19, so 14 years. That's what, 6 years old. If I'm wrong, I'm a driver, not a math teacher.
That's right. He got it closer than Cameron did.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But either way, right? Like that is an incredible amount of time as a kid.
Yeah.
Just like messing around, and all of a sudden you're 19 years old and you're a professional drifter.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's so crazy, man, to think about it like that. Like, especially for both of them. I mean, like their combined experience is like just it blows my mind. But all right, so I wanted to kind of take it a little bit different spin on that. So if you had to give, because you guys are both so young, but I feel like there's a lot of value in what Dodge just said. If you had to give myself or Dodge or your brother or somebody else some advice on getting into racing just in general, whether they want to be a dirt bike racer, a drifter, a monster truck driver, whatever it is, what would you tell them? Because you guys have seen all of that already, especially in your young age. What would you say, Amanda?
Ask Brandon first.
Okay, Brandon, you go first.
I think personally the best way to get into anything, I mean, just start looking it up, Googling it, watch YouTube videos, and start volunteering, try making friends.
Yeah.
Like,
go help.
Exactly. The best way to get into anything is just go make friends doing it and find good people to do it with that want to see you succeed and will help you into it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, okay, so like for a youngster or an old guy like me, if they came up to you and said, "Hey, you know what? I would like to go and help your guys' team. If I show up to the next drift event, would you guys let me shadow you?" What would you say to that person?
Yeah, we've done it before.
Really?
I have a lot of people in my DMs all the time asking me, "Hey," like even I love seeing the girls in my DMs because they're very more on a personal level. They're like, "Hey, like I want to go out there, I want to do it, but like I am the only girl." Like, okay, and pros crash too. We all started somewhere, you know what I'm saying? But I would definitely say just go out there and get in someone's car. A lot of the times, like, I know the off-road community is so like open-handed to everyone and just like we'll take anyone in, help each other out. And I feel like same with drifting. If you want to go out there and get in a car, you could be like, "Hey, I have my helmet. Go to your local grassroots event. Get in a car."
Yep.
It'll be life-changing.
Yeah, I agree. And Calculated Risk agrees with us as well. Dodge, would you be interested in going out and checking out that stuff? I mean, like, I would be cool to go down to a drift event. That'd be sweet.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like drop anything, I'd be there.
Yeah.
I took Dodge go-karting once.
Well, how did he do go-karting against you?
We actually got rained out, so
Oh!
I know. I was so pissed.
That means that you guys have to do it again.
I had my qualifier. I saw Amanda's taillights for about 10 seconds, and I didn't see her ever again.
You totally ditched him?
Gone.
Dude,
Gone.
that's hilarious, man. That means that we're gonna have to do like a whole track day or something one of these days with a whole bunch of off-roaders and
That would be
drifters and
so
like
fun.
do a battle.
We'll see. Blake Wilkie tried that before, and we got kicked out of Willow Springs about halfway through the day because he thought it'd be a good idea to, drive off the track and start jumping things that were definitely not meant to be jumped.
What kind of cars were you in?
Well, we had our drift cars. Brad DeBerti was there in
Oh.
his drift truck. Blake Wilkie had his, his
little
off-road
bug.
bug. There was I think Darren Parsons was there.
Dude,
A bunch of off-road trucks and drift cars, and they found this jump right off of the track where they would just hit the dirt and start jumping stuff, and the track people did not like that.
Dude, you get way too rowdy in those things. What are you gonna say, Dodge?
I said we'll have to get the Godfrey boys to give us full access to Millard or to the Utah Motorsports campus here.
That would be pretty cool, right? I think that would be super fun to set something that other people are chiming in, saying that they're into. All right, so a couple other things that I was going to ask are, because I know Brandon's hurting a little bit here. We already got the advice that you would give. I think that's fantastic that you guys are open to having other people. That means you guys are really hospitable. And actually, you know what? Before we ask this next question, does the off-road community and the drift community, do they both have hospitality? I know in our pits, we always had a whole separate area with hospitality, and we invited kids to come in. We had little RC cars for them to play with, all kinds of fun stuff, games, food, everything. Does that same thing go along with what you guys do in drifting?
I think that's something that we have taken from the off-road industry and tried to bring more into the drift industry. You can go, a lot of the drivers have their pit set up to where it's kind of like the drag race style. You can walk up, you can see their car, but they have the little fence, right? And so for us, we actually, we did an outline, an actual, sky image of the track, printed it as a sticker and put it on a table and brought these little drift cars. And it was crazy to see, it was more intended for the younger kids to kind of see the track and drive with the little Hot Wheels cars.
That's so cool.
It was insane to see older people coming and making the car noises and drifting with their friends and tandeming with the little Hot Wheels cars. It was so funny. So I think that was
rad.
something that you don't see. You kind of see more of a private hospitality area where it's kind of your family and your crew where you go eat whatever.
Right.
But that's something that we tried to open up more towards the drifting industry that I don't think is very seen there.
Dude, that is so Dodge. You got to be pumped on hearing that.
Yeah, it's good to see
Yeah, I love hearing that.
I would play with the Hot Wheels cars.
That's what we did. We did too. We had RC cars for the little kids and set up little tracks and stuff. That is so rad that you guys are doing that. All right, so knowing that you guys are good at doing the marketing and talking with Justin and stuff, Dodge, if you had to say one thing that you think is going to be one of their goals, because I want to have them answer too, what do you think one of their goals is going to be in the next 2 years?
One of their goals?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's tough. My personal goals change almost every day, right? Just you have long-term and short-term. Maybe Brandon try to catch up to Amanda in a social following. That would be.
Dude, I feel like Dodge and I are on the same level because I was gonna say that, and then you're gonna say I want to be as good as Brandon as a capability of a driver, because you just said earlier,
Yeah, you have
definitely say
skill, and then there's just the slight offset, right, between the two.
That's so cool that you guys can do that. It's with each other though, because you guys can make and push each other so hard. All right, so what are your guys' goals for the next couple years then? Maybe like what Dodge was saying, give us a short-term goal and then a longer-term goal.
Well, as of right now, we don't have a schedule for FD next year. So, as you can see, the cars are out of the trailer. They're going to get prepped. We're going to start on a full teardown. But because Brandon and I are always going, we have SEMA Ignited in 4 days. So, that's our first event. And then right after that, we have Mint 400. So, there's always these continuing just kind of like
Yeah, there's
events.
different things to look forward to, right?
It never ends.
Yeah. That's what I was saying about your guys' schedule, and the time that you have to put in is phenomenal.
So we have our kind of like an idea of what we're planning on doing, and as far as like goals for me, I would say my number one goal is to be the first female in pro drifting. And so as of right now, there's me and Kelsey in pro spec, but I have to move up to the next rank, which is pro, which is like the highest of all driving or drifting in the United States. And so that's my personal goal.
How close are you reaching that goal?
Well, depending on the rule changes this year and kind of which direction the series goes will depend on how close my goal is.
Well, so when we talk about all these goals, like I always tell everybody, there's a fun fact out there that, well, it's actually a true statement, but if you write down a goal with a pen and paper or pencil and paper, it's 90% more of a chance that it happens than if you just think about it or write it down on your phone. So if you write down on paper.
I do like to write in notebooks.
There you go. Let's write that sucker down, man.
I think I started actually in our family meeting last night. Now that our season's over, we are talking about goals, short-term and
How intense was that family meeting?
Honestly, I thought it was going to be a little bit more intense, but it was pretty chill.
Did you guys eat tacos or pizza?
It was right after we got home from the dunes, so it was more of like a 9 o'clock at night.
See whatever's in the refrigerator kind of thing.
Exactly.
What are your goals, Brandon? Give us like a year goal and then a 5-year goal.
Brandon needs to get his life together.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, for a 1-year goal, to get at least one of those carbon fiber trophies in Formula Drift would be nice.
Is that one of the elusive trophies?
Like, there's one back there. I don't know if they can see it, but it's a big old carbon fiber trophy.
It's pretty badass.
Yeah, it is.
So get one of those. And then what about 5-year? Just be a champion?
I mean, I definitely want to try rallycross.
Dude, that would be so
give
cool.
Give it a go and get my pilot's license. And those are, well, for the 1-year goal, getting a pilot's license for, like, flying planes is...
You don't have enough cars to work on? You're going to go get a pilot's license, too? Dude, Dodge, like, he heard that rallycross, and he's like, yeah. So I can attest to that. That would be so sick to see that.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
That would be pretty cool. There's so many people that are getting their pilot's license right now, though, too. Like, it made me, like, think about it before I went to sleep last night, actually. How much easier it would be to go to the races, right?
Brandon and I actually just flew over Battle at Prim while Brandon was racing the trophy truck.
Really? Did you see him?
Sick. Yeah, I was flying the plane over him, like
really
taking content videos.
Nice. Look at you. That's stepping up Brandon's content, trying to get those followers.
I'm trying.
Nice. All right, Dodge. Go ahead.
I say you gotta hop on the train. I'm trying to get my helicopter's license. So I mean, you just gotta kind of complete the circle.
Yeah, see, you youngsters are way ahead of me. I'm just over here just barely making a podcast, dude. You guys are getting licenses and flying and doing all this fun stuff. So I got to get some goals from you guys, man. All right, Dodge, we're going to ask them some final questions here. So I appreciate you coming on, man. It was nice to see you again, obviously. And make sure you slide into our DM so I can schedule you and get you on the show, too.
All right. I think I can do that.
All right. Thanks, homie. Really appreciate it. We'll see you later.
You guys take care.
You too. That was cool, man. It's neat to see, like, I always love seeing how friendly everybody is together. Like, everybody that races always loves racing so much they want to support each other. That's pretty rad. All right, let's go through the rapid fire Q&A before we end the show. Actually, do you guys have any other stuff before we do the rapid fire? No?
I don't think so.
I know Tonsil Boy over there is ready to get this thing done. All right, so we're going to go through rapid fire Q&A. Let's let girls go first, and then you go second. So, you ready, Amanda? Rapid fire Q&A. Hard shell or soft tacos?
Soft tacos.
Brandon?
Soft tacos.
You both going soft tacos? Well, then do you like chicken or carne asada?
Carne asada.
I like both, honestly.
Oh, you're going both? Dunes or the river?
I think I'm kind of burnt out of the dunes.
Oh, you got smoked this weekend? You're over it?
I've been going to the dunes since I was a baby. So, but we also, I mean, as a family, go to the lake a lot, but it's been a minute since we've been to the lake, so I could take a lake day.
You're trying to go to the lake. What about you, Brandon?
I think we should add a snow option to that.
Oh, you're a big snow guy over here?
You know, like a snow bike, timber sleds?
I've seen those, but I haven't got.
True.
Have you got to drive one?
We have a few of them. They're super
Are they fun?
The
Dude,
scary part, though, is, like, you get lost real easy because everything, when it starts snowing, just turns white, and your sense of direction
like goes out the window?
Yeah.
Three-wheeler or quad?
Amanda?
I don't know. Neither. I'm just kidding.
You're not riding either of them?
Dirt bike?
Okay, that's
three-wheel. That kind of sounds fun. I don't think I've ever really tried that. I've seen Brandon stunt.
They're
before.
also called death machines though on three-wheelers.
We have one here, and we let our friends ride it on the pit bike track sometimes.
What about you, Brandon?
I mean, I think a three-wheeler is like just a total death trap, so probably a quad, honestly.
Going quad. Well, one of the things that I noticed that I saw that people probably saw in the intro is that you also like using only two wheels, even though you have four and a side-by-side, and you can ride it on the side like that. That looks so gnarly, dude.
Yeah, so we were out at Speed Vegas a few weeks ago trying to break the world record.
Riding on two wheels, like on the side, like bicycling it?
Mm-hmm. We came up.
What is it called? Is there a special name for it?
It's like the world's longest UTV side wheelie.
Side wheelie is what it's called? Okay.
And we came up like 0.2 miles short because our axle broke.
Oh, man. So what are you going to do?
We're gonna go back and do it again.
So, yeah, you guys didn't know, but your dad actually showed me the video for that. It looks so gnarly, and your CV joint was just, like, fully engulfed in smoke.
Yeah, like the whole diff was on fire and everything, yeah.
But it looked so rad when you were doing it, dude. Like, the amount of car control that you possess in any car, but in the UTV, you're on the bicycle, like on the side wheelie, going, like, people have seen this stuff on Instagram or whatever, and, like, you're going on the side, but you're going, like, at speed, and then you slow down, at speed, and then you do a turn. Like, you're actually maneuvering a car around a course.
Yeah, I think
on
the
two wheels.
worst part about that whole thing is my neck was so sore.
Because you're leaning to the
side?
side?
Because, like, I'm trying to, like, hold my head up straight with the whole helmet on and everything.
Maybe get a full containment seat in there next time, huh?
Yeah, I had my Hans device on and everything, too, but, like, all the blood, like, goes to the one side of your body.
Did you get to see it?
No, I wasn't there. I was in Utah.
Oh, man, it looked like it was so much fun, though. All right, well, good job, dude. I hope you beat that world record as soon. Like, get it done soon, man. That'd be sick.
Thank you.
I want to see that video, too. I want to see what the tires look like afterwards. That'd be so rad.
They're bald. They're slicks.
After
on the side.
After you break the world record, I can only imagine, like, if you can make the tires last, it'd be sweet. All right, pizza rolls or jalapeno poppers?
Depends on the day.
Whoa! You can't have just one favorite one?
No.
Gun to your head right now.
I'm very picky.
Gun to your head right now. Pizza rolls or jalapeno poppers?
Well, today I think I'm feeling neither.
You're not getting any of them? You got a gun to your head.
Pizza rolls.
You're going pizza
I'm
rolls?
not complicated like her.
Coffee or tea?
Depends on the day.
Oh, my God. Here goes the complication again. All right, we're skipping you on all these ones that you're getting complicated. Favorite movie?
I don't really watch TV.
Do you have a favorite YouTube video? Favorite meme?
I don't even watch YouTube.
Favorite meme? Favorite Instagram channel? What's your favorite movie, Brandon?
Probably Talladega Nights.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one, right?
Yeah.
Step
I
Brothers.
guess I could say that.
What about Step Brothers? Step Brothers good too. If you could have one superpower, what would it be? Like, that's a pretty intense question, especially for a racer, right?
Teleportation.
What about, like, instead of well, is teleporting the same as jumper? Have you seen that, where he just, like, jumps to places? What would you pick, Brandon? Teleporting would be super
I would say, or reading people's minds.
That would be so, like, I wouldn't want to know that, though. Like, because that's, like, too much information for me. I think
You'd be well aware of what's going on around you at all times.
Absolutely, but you don't want to know what's going on all the time. But I feel like teleporting would be so sick, though, because then you don't even need a pilot's license.
Yeah, sometimes driving from place to place can be exhausting. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I also like traveling, so.
What kind of power are you taking, Brandon?
I don't know, honestly. I think I'm fine with how I am. I don't need any superpowers.
You know what? That's a really good answer. I don't think anybody's answered that on the show before, but I like that answer. Myself and James Jeremiah were actually talking about that today, that you have to be comfortable with exactly what you're given in life. Netflix or YouTube? Oh, you don't even. Are you just Instagram? That's it.
I don't watch TV.
I haven't had TV since 2008. So
I actually like to not go on TikTok for a while because then it'll refresh my feed to anything that's new and trending to try to get you back on the app. Same with Instagram.
I gotcha. So that's
it's
what
really
you do.
good, like content strategy.
What about book, girl? Are you like into books and stuff?
I can't read a full
I don't think
sentence.
I've ever seen
my
Ed
mind
read a
is
book.
yeah. My mind is way too everywhere for that.
I hate books as well. All right, Netflix or YouTube, Brandon?
Probably Netflix.
Favorite snack? This could be anything. Well, okay, favorite road snack. What would you pick? Like, if you're going to the gas station and you're in Texas, what snack are you picking?
Sweet ropes.
Sweet ropes? What is that? Like red vines?
No, they're sweet ropes. They're like sweet tart ropes. They're so good. They're chewy.
Really? Do they have a bunch of different colors? Those do sound pretty good.
No,
what would you pick, Brandon?
They're all red.
Oh, really? What would you pick, Brandon? Are you going like beef jerky or something like?
Wait, let me guess.
Oh, you think you know it?
Hot munchies.
Those are actually really delicious, though.
Really? He always tells me to get them when I go inside.
What are you getting then, Brandon?
I don't know, honestly.
Hot munchies, I'm telling
all right.
you.
You're
when
going
I
to
go
just
in
get
the
him
gas
hot
station,
munchies.
I have to get him hot
different every
munchies.
time.
All right, let's do this then. You answer for Brandon, and Brandon answer for you on the next question. So, Brandon, answer for Amanda. Supercross or motocross?
I don't think she knows the difference.
Motocross
right.
is outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
Supercross is indoors.
Yeah, so she knows the difference. What are you going to think she's going to pick?
Probably Supercross.
All right, what do you think he's going to pick?
Yeah, maybe Supercross.
He's making
Motocross, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, my God, you guys are making this so difficult. All right, what's your answer?
Supercross.
And what was yours?
Supercross.
Okay, cool. So you guys got it right. That's awesome. Okay, what other form of racing would you like to try? And I'm excluding rallycross for you. What other form of racing would you like to try, Amanda?
I want to go race one of those Sierra cars or a Legend
The what?
car. The Sierra cars.
What's that?
It's rallycross.
Oh,
They
it
race
is?
in Nitro
Like-
Rally.
Oh, but it's
like,
it's like that little okay, yeah.
you excluded Rally.
Okay.
Rally was an option, but
I see. So, well, I wanted to exclude because you guys would have both guessed rallycross. So I want to see what else you're into. You mean you could literally race a power boat? You could race
I
jet
want to
skis.
try. I also want to try racing a Legend car because those things look super insane.
You want to race a monster truck? You could race that. What would you
I
pick,
did
Brandon?
drive a monster truck. That was lit.
Really?
I would like to take Reese Millen's Bentley up Pikes Peak.
Oh, that would be super cool.
That's like one of the gnarliest cars I've ever heard.
It's super cool looking too. I kind of want to talk more about this monster truck. That was fun.
It was crazy.
That's like a dream of mine.
It's crazy because like you don't realize how you actually have a steering wheel and you have a joystick that controls your rear tires. So you have your front wheels on the wheel and your rear tires on the little joystick, like a little video game.
So how gnarly was it to drive?
Crazy, because then you're also not looking out your windshield, you're looking out your floorboard that's all plexiglass
Right.
because you're so high in the air.
I've seen that.
And then you have your chair, and to your left is the ground that's like 10 feet below you, and on the right is the ground that's 10 feet below you.
How gnarly is it on your back when you do like a big jump?
It's honestly not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I thought it looked like it was going to hurt so bad.
It was alright.
It wasn't that bad. Have you ever got to drive one, Brandon, or no?
No, they told me that they signed me up for a monster truck competition, but I'm not entirely sure what happened with that.
Maybe one of these days you'll get lassoed back into doing it. All right, so Rallycross wins. I can see that. Who is your celebrity crush? You guys don't watch movies. You don't have it. All right, final question of the night. Chips and guacamole or French fries and ketchup?
French fries and ketchup all the way. I hate guacamole.
You can't do guacamole? Not a big avocado girl?
No.
How about you, Brandon?
I actually just made my own French fries in the air fryer about 2 hours ago. So
No way!
I think that'll answer that question.
I still don't understand air fryers. Like, that's just mind-blowing for me. I still don't get it. So, congratulations to you on having the awesome French fries. So before we sign out and I do the outro, can you please thank everybody that you guys want to?
You first.
Well, I mean, definitely our parents, you for coming here, setting all of this up.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely. Man.
Everyone else that helps us out, 212 Gloves, Comp Cams.
Cameron's waving his hand like he deserves a thanks.
Yeah, well, he
I'm
did a
just kidding.
fantastic job on the show, so thank you, Cameron, for coming over here and doing that, buddy. But, yeah, you guys do have a lot of people that help out, even in the shop and stuff, too.
Definitely.
How about you, Amanda? Who are you thinking?
I don't know if Brandon covered these people, but Rick from RTS, helping us with our trans, and definitely our crew who has helped us a lot this whole entire year. There's a lot of things that we learned.
Yeah.
Also, advanced clutch technology for getting us some good clutches, Borla, exhausts, status racing, for sure for these 6 seats that we just got.
Yep.
And,
with the rad colors.
yeah, they're crazy. Consave for the wheels, comp cams, Radium,
I think
RHS.
you guys have a bunch of fantastic sponsors, man. A lot of
There's
good.
a lot of people.
A lot of good. What is that Driftline company?
So Driftline is a website that, you know what Race Desert is?
Yeah. Same thing for Drift?
Yes, because when you get into drifting, it's like, where do I buy a car?
Yeah, exactly.
Very rare. So it actually has all the classifieds on there, so you can go buy a car.
Oh, nice.
Any manufacturer that makes aftermarket parts for the drift cars, like Willwood, Borla, Comp Cams, all of those people that are involved in drifting. And it also has events. It's not up to date right now, but there's some events on there.
I'm gonna have to check it out. Well, I know that that I want to personally thank all of the off-road industry for supporting you guys and coming up through the ranks as kids. I know that when I was at the races, I got to see you guys as younger kids coming up through the ranks, and it was really cool to see the applause that you guys would get when you guys did well, and the amount of recognition that you guys got and support that you guys got in the pits. So I think it's really cool that everybody is around supporting you guys, because it's given you guys the opportunity to be the fantastic drivers and racers and competitors that you guys are now. So I think it's really cool that the off-road industry was able to give you guys that opportunity that you have now, and you guys are also going to give back too. So one of the things that we had said was some of your guys' goals, but some of the things that are going to happen in the near future are you guys are also going to get back into an off-road truck as well, right? With the 6100 behind us.
But also the cool thing is, like, one thing that is super awesome is having the drift experience and getting into that industry. There's a lot of people from the off-road industry that are like, oh, like we're so interested, and then vice versa. A lot of the drift industry is always asking about the off-road industry. Every single one of my drift friends are like, I want to get in a trophy truck. That looks so sick.
Yeah.
Asking me questions all about it. So Brandon and I are actually drifting at the Mint 400.
Nice.
So we're going to be doing drift demos over on Fremont Street.
And we will also be racing the trucks.
And then
That's
we'll be
so
hopping
cool.
in the truck right after.
Dude, just like Justin said, killing 2 birds with 1 stone for your sponsors too. That is awesome, man. Well, I can't wait to see you guys at the Mint. It'll be cool. Have you guys tested out in this truck yet?
Yeah, we just raced Battle at Prim. So
How was it?
Super fun.
I got second the first day, and then Amanda forgot to put enough fuel in the truck.
I got told
she ran out of
put
gas.
30 gallons of fuel in, so I put 30 gallons of fuel in, and
It wasn't enough.
How long does
like
that last? 30 miles?
We're getting like 2 miles a gallon.
Oh.
yeah, but I think we miscalculated our MPG there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, because that was our first race in that truck. We've only driven it in Dumont once.
Well, you guys are learning it. That's a good thing that you guys are going testing and getting the shakedowns out of it so that you can be ready when you go to the Mint 400, right? Do you guys have any plans on doing any Mexico races or anything like that? Or are you guys just going to stay United States based with the drift and the Best in the Desert stuff? Or Mint 400?
We're definitely going to stay in the United States for the off-road racing.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to be in Mexico. My parents have bad experiences with going down there.
Yeah.
Brandon actually has a crazy experience.
I do too. Yeah, I got lifted
He
out.
almost died.
I got lifted out of Mexico in a helicopter.
Ooh, you don't want to do that, dude.
No.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
They were lost in the desert for like 3 days in Mexico on dirt bikes.
Really?
Yeah,
Down
I was with Jack's Redline.
No way.
His dad, Shane, came him down and
Rescued them in his helicopter.
That's so crazy. Well, I'm glad you guys are safe, dude. That's so nuts, man. Well, no matter what happens, whether you guys are going to Mexico or not, still good luck and all the stuff that you guys are doing. Like I said before, you guys are doing a fantastic job. It's so good to see youngsters putting in so much effort in their racing programs. It's really, really, I can't express how much work it actually takes for our audience to understand, to be able to do this and to be able to compete at the high levels that you guys are. And you guys are putting effort into 2 disciplines. It's awesome to see. So I'm proud of you guys. We had a few people commenting in as well. So thank you guys very much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. Man, next week we got an awesome show lined up for you guys. We're going to be back at 4 Wheel Parts in San Marcos, California. And we got one of the guys that you mentioned coming on the show, Blake Wilkie. So it'll be cool to talk with him, have a little bit of fun. He took a 5-ton Army truck out to the dunes down the sand drags this weekend.
I saw that.
So I'm going to talk to him a little bit about that.
We actually just went to the abandoned water park with Blake to kind of test out.
Oh, is that the
waters
one
over
down
there.
here?
Yeah, that was super cool. He had like a little drift pad set up, and he's like, I just want to see the potential of it. Like, give me your opinions on it.
Really?
So, yeah. And then Brandon was two-wheeling the Razor, like, around the whole water park. Is pretty sick.
No way. Did you guys get any video of it? That'd be cool to see.
Oh, we have lots of content.
There you
Posted
go.
all of on our Instagrams. I think Blake posted it, too.
I'm going to have to check it out for sure. So thank you guys very much for joining us. We owe you guys all of our gratitude for being part of the Dirt Life Show and hanging out with us. Thank you for listening to these guys' awesome story. I hope you guys are able to follow along with some of the drift stuff that they're doing. So please go. Oh, can you mention your social media tags as well?
At Amanda.Sorensen12 on Instagram.
Yep.
Mine is just my name, Brandon_Sorensen.
And
Yeah.
we have Cameron_Sorensen, too.
Yeah, so go follow Cameron, too, because he's the life of the party, right? Trisha's saying hi, Amanda.
Hello.
So thank you guys very much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. Yeah, Cameron, you want to come in here and wave bye to everybody as well? Like I said, we have Blake Wilkie next week, next Monday night at 4 Wheel Parts San Marcos. You can always go to thedirtlifeshow.com and click on sponsor deals. You can save on all of our partners, man. They have all kinds of good deals going on. And just like these guys are doing, they're marketing themselves really well. You can also click on the marketing stuff from Alex Stryler. He'll tell you how to get sponsorships and the best way to do that. And it's sponsorship season right now. So thank you guys very much for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you to everybody in the Sorensen compound for having us out here. We really appreciate it. Thank you to your mom as well for fixing all the internet stuff so we could have this live stream. And
audience.
Yep, and your dad, of course, and all of everybody that's out here. And clearly, thank you to all three of you. You guys did an awesome job today on the show. So we really appreciate it and wish you guys the best of luck. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to KMC Wheels. Thank you to EFX Tires. Thank you to Zollinger Racing Products. Thank you to Motul. Thank you to the guys over at Shock Therapy. And thank you to the guys at Solderweld and Cryo Heat as well. So we really appreciate it. If you want to take us out of the show, just tell them you love them and good night. No?
Love y'all. Good night.
Perfect. We love you guys. Good night.
Thanks for listening to The Dirt Life Show.